Hey, what's good, everybody, man? It's J Dub, man. I'm back in the building. I'm back in the streaming and podcasting game, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited to be back. And it's been a long year. Since the last time I did a video, it's been rough. I had a little accident, broke my ankle, so I wasn't even able to get up here to my loft where my studio's at. So haven't been able to do no videos. And once I got to the point where I was able to do videos in the past, like about, I say about 3 or 4 months ago. It was the middle of the season. Football's already done. Basketball's kind of winded down to the playoffs. I was thinking about coming in the playoffs, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do all that. I'm just gonna wait until maybe the start of training camp for football. But then the draft just popped up. I was just watching the draft. I was super excited because Spurs had 2 picks. We already got Victor last year. Thought we was gonna clean up in the draft. And starting off, we did. We got the number 4 pick, and we got Stephon Castle from UConn, and he showed out in the tournament. He's probably one of the best defenders in the draft, for sure in the perimeter. So he's gonna clean up. So I'm excited about that pick. That's a Spurs pick. Now we got our point of attack defender that we needed, that we've been needed. So we got, you got him. We got Devin Vassell. We got who should be a elite defender because he has all the metrics. He has like a 7'3" wingspan to be an elite defender. We got Keldon Johnson, who's a scorer. What I'm saying, a good three. Undersized, but he's still a solid three. That's who I want to be our small forward. We got Jeremy Shohan. What I'm saying, he's solid. Can play defense. What I'm saying, it keeps him off the ball a little bit more. Because we're trying to put him on the ball, but we shouldn't have. Just ask him to do a little bit too much. Even though he can do it, it just helps. When the offense gets stagnant, but not as like our de facto point guard. I didn't think that worked too well. So now we can get him off the ball and focus more on playing defense, being more of a power forward. That's perfect for us. And then obviously we got a generational talent in Victor Wembanyama. If you've seen what he did towards the end of last year, no questions about it. Barring injury, superstar. No questions asked. So we got our starting 5. We got our young nucleus at starting 5. So we're good on that. So starting off in the draft was solid. Then we get to the 8th pick, and this is where, a lot of my as the draft went on, got a lot of messages and texts and things like that, wondering what the heck happened. And mind you, I agree. When it first happened, I was a little bit surprised that we did that because when we picked up Rob Dillingham from Kentucky, I was like, all right, we got the 2 to 3 best point guards in the draft. I'm like, okay, we're good. We got a 6. If anything, he's going to be our 6th man coming off the bench, being able to facilitate, score. He can shoot. He can dribble. He got handles, everything. He's not a defender. He's too small to really be pretty much a elite defender. So ain't expecting that out of him. We already got our starting point guard in Stephon Castle because that's what he's going to be once he gets his jump shot down. It's going to be lights out. But Dillingham, he was going to be solid 6th man coming off the bench. Saying put the ball in the basket, freaking quick score. I'm gonna be solid. Now we cooking with fish grease. I wouldn't. If you wanted him as a starting point guard, I don't know. But he will. We just gotta hope he turns into AI. But he's gonna be a solid 6th man for sure. But I was going into it with that. Once we made the pick up, like, all right, we moving. This is an A+ draft. We solid. So and then. Look on my ticker because after that I was like, man, I'm good. I can go downstairs and grab something to eat. And I looked at my phone and I said, Minnesota has traded with San Antonio Spurs for their number 8th pick, and I'm like, really? For what? I said, for what? Let me look into this. So I dig in deep into it, and they said, yeah, we have traded the number 8 pick for a pick swap in 2030 for with a protected 1 pick. I'm like, okay, so this is really not a pick. It's technically we got control of the pick, but it's not our pick. It's just we can just leapfrog them for their pick if they have a better pick than us. Okay, and then we got their unprotected 30 pick in 2031, which I'm like, okay, that's like 7 years from now. It's not going to benefit us right now. So what are we doing? We need stuff right now. We're trying to build a championship team right now. That's what the Spurs do. We've been developing for a little bit too long. We've been developing for the last 4 or 5 years. It's been a minute. We've been developing since we gave Kawhi away to to Toronto, and he won the championship, which I was happy about. But he, he we were just mad about. He's like, okay, we've been trying to develop a team, so I don't know. It's like, what are we doing at the end of the day? So I'm confused completely. So I'm just like, okay, why do we do that? Why do we trade? Why do we trade our number 8th pick? And I thought about it. And as I was watching the draft, I was leading the picks, and I was seeing what was left on the board. It started coming clear to me, and then I started really thinking about it long term, long game wise, and it really, 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 really started to become clear to me. And I'm gonna explain to you why we did that. Well, starting off with the immediate reason why is that we probably didn't want to. We probably didn't think Dillingham was our pick. I didn't think he was our pick. I thought that we were hoping that Donovan Clingan from UConn would have fell to us. That's what we were hoping for, because I saw that pick happen, number 7, with Portland Trailblazers, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure that if he would have been the number 8th pick, if he had fell to us, we would have took that pick, and we wouldn't have made a trade for it. That would have been our pick, and we would have been like, all right, we're going to pair you up with Victor. We got 2 bigs, hard to get 2 7-foot bigs that are solid in this NBA, and then we've been good for the future. Would have been A++. It would have been an A++ draft. Lights out. I'd have been ecstatic. So I was thinking that. So I'm thinking that when after that Portland made that pick for him, we were like, there's nobody else on this board that we like. We got our point guard. We really don't want to bring in another point guard, so let's go ahead and trade this pick to somebody for a future pick down the road. Maybe we can use that pick for assets in a trade, or we'll see what happens. So that's probably what the Spurs were thinking of at that point. That's one of the reasons why, I'll say. So I guess that makes sense. Then I really started thinking about it in the long term. And Minnesota has no picks. I actually checked. I said, let me see how many picks Minnesota have, because I know they lost a lot of picks in the Gobert trade. So pretty much they have no control of none of their picks. I think the only pick that they really have is in 2026, and that's a pick swap with I forgot who, but that's the only pick they actually have right now. And then they got the 2030 pick that we have control over. So really have no control of none of their picks until 2032. So they have nothing. So that means that they have a small championship window right now for, like, I would say 3 or 4 years max. 3 years for sure, 4 years max. So basically basically Ant's prime. Because you got to think that after 2030, around 2028, 2029, you got Cat is getting older. You got Victor Gobert. You got Rudy Gobert. He's getting older, and so they're not gonna have the same bigs. Anything can happen in between that, to where they're not gonna be as big. You know what I'm saying? They got Naz Reid. He's still kind of young, but still, what I'm saying, they're not gonna be as formidable as they are right now. So once that pick materializes, then it's going to be like an interesting pick, because they're probably going to be needing that pick to develop and get better, but we're going to have it, and we're going to use that in both in the 2030 pick. Is going to be the one we're like, okay, we can. They're hurting for they're struggling this season, and we're going to be able to jump up and take their pick and switch them down to where we're at, because we'll be on a trajectory of being a good team, especially with Victor Wembanyama. I think by that time he'll be well into his prime. So I expect us to be pretty good by then, and then that pick actually making sense for us to pick swap it. So I feel like just the trajectory of how well our team's going to be at that point plays a part in us going ahead and making that move to get that pick. That's the second reason why. And yeah, if you're looking for, if you got the patience to look that far back, then I guess it makes sense. But whatever, that's fine. That's what they want to do. The third reason why is it's probably going to be an asset for a future trade coming up here, maybe this year or next year. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that pick is going to be kind of valuable, because people are probably thinking the same thing. These GMs are thinking like I'm thinking, and thinking that, okay, once 2030 and 2031 come around, Minnesota's not going to be that good of a team because they don't have no assets to make any moves because nobody's gonna willingly. Cause when did the last time you seen somebody willingly go to Minnesota that wasn't drafted or wasn't traded there? When have you seen somebody say, "Okay, I want a 5-year max contract to go to Minnesota"? Go ahead, I'll wait. I want to know who that superstar is because there hasn't been. So I don't think nobody's going to. I don't think Minnesota's going to at some points they're going to bottom out. Once their core players start to get older towards the end of their careers, and then those picks are going to be valuable, and then so we can use those in trades because people are going to be looking to think of the long game, just like I'm thinking, and like the GMs are thinking, and they're going to be like, okay, that's going to be a valuable pick, so we can package that in the deal to ensure that we get somebody that we want to bring in here, a la like a point guard, like a Trey Young, somebody like that. You never know. Maybe a Donovan Mitchell. You never know. You never know what teams are willing to. I mean, because we got a lot of picks to work with. I know Atlanta's begging us to give us next year's pick a big bag, and that's another thing. That's segue into the fourth reason why we made that move, because next year we have an unprotected pick from Charlotte, and it's 1 through 14, which are probably, looking at Charlotte's roster, they're probably going to have that pick because it's going to be between 1 and 14. That's just my pick. So technically, we're going to have 2 unprotected picks: our pick and Atlanta's pick. Atlanta is desperate for us to give us that pick back because next year's draft is so much better than this year's draft. So I'm thinking that because of that kind of helped us say, you know what, instead of us paying 2 top 10 picks in this year's draft, let's get rid of this pick and create an asset pick for later on, and let's bank on next year's draft when the talent pool is way better than this year's draft, and we have a better chance of having two players that we can definitely fit around this team because we're gonna know what we really need after this year, based on that fact that we have like a young starting nucleus right now with the team that we got without Rob Dillingham. So to me that makes sense. That's probably the reason why I would say that we really decided to go with that. But I think all four of those together is the reason why we did that. But that reason makes the most sense because I think next year's draft is way better than this year's draft. The talent level is much better. So we're banking on that year to where we're going to keep our picks, or unless you're giving us a superstar in return for a trade, but we're going to keep our pick, or we're going to give them our pick, and then we're going to keep the Atlanta pick. But unless we trade Atlanta, because Atlanta's going to be like, please give us our pick back. In the year before that, from when we let you guys have DeJounte Murray, because we were thinking long game at that point. Like we're thinking later on in the next few years we're going to have some good drafts. So you can have DeJounte, and we got Victor. So we're going to rebuild into a better team doing it this way. So makes perfect sense to me. Now, I'm really excited overall with the draft. If I were to give a grade, I would give it A minus. Simply because the trade was kind of questionable on the surface, but once you dig deeper into it, it actually kind of makes sense, moving forward. But getting Stephon Castle, was a big deal. Like I said, we got a point attack defender, someone who can guard the perimeter. He's 6'5", he has great size. He has some work to do on his jump shot, but we got the team to help him pretty much fix his jump shot. So we was able to fix Kawhi's jump shot, and coming out of college, Kawhi's jump shot was suspect, but now he's like one of the best shooters in the league. If you really look at the metrics, he's a 50, 40, 80, 88 guy his whole career at this point. So, barring the injuries and shit like that, so you know how he is. But Stephon Castle, all he needs is just a consistent jumper, even a mid range. He can be Tony Parker and just shoot, and just be consistent with his mid range jumper and make the corner three, and then he's a lights out prospect, because the defense is already there. You can't really teach effort on defense. If you're a defender, that just you're a hard worker, and he has to handle. He has the point guard abilities to be a top level point guard, especially in the Spurs system. So I'm excited about him, and overall I'm excited about the draft. So I give it like an A minus. It would have been an A plus if they would have kept Rob Dillingham, but you know we'll keep it. We'll assume that they're playing the long game. They're gonna benefit that down the road. Benefit, but with that pick down the road, those picks, the control of the 30 pick and the unprotected 31st down the road. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys have a great night. It's good to be back. Good to be doing videos again. I'm gonna be having more videos coming up. I have football videos, of course. Do basketball. The Olympics are coming up, so I'm excited about the Olympics. We're gonna do more real talk videos. I'm gonna get into that. What I'm saying, we got the election coming up, so I got a big video for that. What I'm saying, I'm gonna really shed light on just kind of my thoughts on this upcoming election. We got the debate coming tomorrow. I might not do a video on that, unless it's some real outlandish stuff coming from either side, and I'll get into the debate video. It's gonna be something to watch if I really kind of put my hands into it and do something. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Like I said, I'm gonna be watching the presidential debate and seeing where it goes and how and where and how it ends up being, because last time they had a debate, Biden and Trump had a debate, it was a circus. So, but we'll see. I want to see what it's about before I decide whether I do a video or wait till we get closer to the election for me to do something. But anyway, like I said, I'm happy to be back. Hit me up. If you like my videos, subscribe to it. Want to stay on track with the videos, hit the bell so you get alerts for it. Other than that, it's all good. You just tune in. If you guys just see it on YouTube, see it on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, press play, tune into it. Let me know what you think about it. Good, bad, ugly, whatever you want to say. Man, I appreciate all feedback. So thank you very much. You guys have a great night and enjoy your summer. Peace out.